Hello, I am here today in Columbus taking a break from the Pride Festival to quick interview my sister and my friend Chris about a kind of trans 101. It is very loud, we're sitting under a highway I think, so hence the microphone. Let's get started.
Someone who is born one biological sex and identifies as a gender that does not match up with that biological sex.
I think there's a lot of different ways that someone can describe themselves being trans. I like trans with the little asterisks because it's kind of an overarching umbrella term of I don't necessarily fit in with the cis. Cis is when you're like, hey, I have such X, Y, and Z in my pants and I identify with such X, Y, and Z, which is totally cool. But sometimes you don't necessarily identify with X, Y, and Z.
Trans people are real people and they should be treated like real people. It's different for everyone. Sometimes there are trans guys who just want to be masculine, but then there are also trans guys who enjoy wearing makeup and dresses and stuff, and they're all valid and they all deserve to be called the pronouns they want to be called. Just because they don't fit into your view of what male is doesn't mean you shouldn't accept them as male.
Kind of will springboard off of what Rose was saying. There's many different ways to express yourself. You know, you can be masculine or feminine or none of the above or all of the above at the same time. Totally fine. People do people.
Use the correct pronouns. Don't bring up things in the person's past unless they bring it up, and don't mention gender stereotypes that they've had. Like, don't look at a trans girl and say, oh, you have large hands. That's just a not nice thing to do. Do not talk about physical transition with them unless they've expressly stated it's alright, because those are very invasive questions that are really not alright to ask.
And another thing that people sometimes think is okay is like, oh, you look like a real girl, expecting it to be a compliment.
No. Interact with a trans person as you would interact with a cisgender person.
Because guess what? She is a real girl.
They're a person. You treat them with respect. They should hopefully behave themselves and treat you with respect. It's kind of easy as that. They say, hey, these are my pronouns, or, you know, this is what I prefer to be called by. This is my preferred name or nickname. Just like you would with anyone, you should hopefully go by that because that's what they're asking you to do. And if you're going to be a good friend or a good ally, you would call your other friends by their nicknames. And if you suspect that someone might be trans, let them do their thing. You don't know, they do. It's not your business to ask them if they're trans or ask them, are you doing the surgery? Oh, are you on hormones? Oh, you're really pretty for a trans person. Don't do it. Just let them do their thing.
I know I've mentioned it a few times, but it's really important to use the right pronouns and to stop other people. Like, if you're a cisgender person and you're walking in the grocery store and you hear someone say something like, I heard that person is a transgender, it's so weird. Even if it doesn't affect you specifically, correcting them and asking, hey, why are you saying something mean? It can help someone else who's trans, who might be someone in their life. In general, pay attention to it, whether it affects you or not.
Don't be a jerk. Treat people as you want to be treated. Golden rule type deal.